Okay, and now in the next step that we're going to do is that we're gonna go head over to Facebook's Audience Insight tool, and this is going to give us a ton of information about our audience. So we're just doing the United States, and we're going to drop in interests here. Let's go ahead and put in estimator
and senior structural engineer.
Great. Okay, so those are some one job title here and then a couple of these, and it's combining all that information for us. It's telling us that the likelihood of them being married is 21% more likely than other people on Facebook. The gray bar back here is going to say this is the Facebook average, and this is where you're coming in. So 21% more likely. Obviously and respectively, less of them are in a relationship and less of them are single. It's also saying that they're less likely to go to grad school. So we're going to take this information back. So we're going to take this information back over here and start filling out our sheet. Let me see. Are they married? It was down here. Yes, 21% more likely to be married. And they most likely have children, that's for sure. So we can go back over here and say, okay, construction and extraction are some of these job titles that are more likely. Installation, transport, and protective. You could grab these if you wanted to. And here's the affinity scores. 57% more likely to be in the construction and extraction. And interestingly enough, it's saying that 51% of them are women, which is very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Well, wait a minute. On Facebook, right?
Well, 56% of Facebook is women. So there's more women on Facebook than men. Men only make up 45. However, out of that, 51% of these interests are women. So it's really a 50-50. I don't know if this is absolutely true with your
it seems
audience,
extremely high percentage rate. However, the management, the upper management, is about 7 or 8% women, but middle management is much greater. Okay. And I would think the middle management female would be on Facebook. Now that you bring that up.
Gotcha. Okay, so they've got a larger affinity to have gone to high school, but less than average have gone to college. So we can go ahead and come back and add that into this.
Well, the ones that we'd be interested in have college degrees.
So we'll just add this information down here. Okay, so where this is going to get really good for us is when we go into page likes and we start finding out. Let me look at ages real quick. So 25 to 64, well, less likely to be 25 to 34, more likely to be 35 to 65. So 35 to 65. And now we're going to go to page likes. See, these are the top categories. So we can go through these and say, this is telling me that they like outdoors. So I'm going to come down here, down to interests, and say that they like the outdoors. They enjoy old houses. And that's telling me that they enjoy working on their old house. So that must be like a repair thing. Home improvement, they prefer Lowe's. Product, so they're looking at real estate quite a bit. Zillow is their one. And they're doing VRBO, Southwest. So these are all good things that you can grab. So Cabela's, they definitely are enjoying the outdoors. And then Grunt Style is a military brand. They were actually one of my customers. So it's a military t-shirt brand. They apply to veterans. So that would
Right.
say that your group has a higher affinity with veterans, with being veteran. So here's a couple of personalities. They listed Tommy Lauren and Ben Shapiro. So we'll put those down. They definitely like sports outdoors and home goods. Look at that. So the NRA, that's another great one. That means we can find your audience there along with a ton of other people, but we can definitely find them there. The Duck Commander, Bass Pro Shop, Public Figure, Heavy D. These are great ones. Okay, we're gonna put all these down. So the fact that they're going after Dave Ramsey tells me that they're trying to be more conservative in their spending, and they might even be dealing with a lot of debt. Eating on a dime, yep, they're probably dealing with some financial issues somewhere along the line. So here's a couple other. Larry the Cable Guy, that makes a ton of sense. I don't know who those other guys are, but you can look into them. This is giving us an idea. All of this is going to give us a really good idea of how we're going to go get in front of those audience. And it looks very clearly like they are right-leaning, more conservative. So we'll say conservative, Donald Trump is our president. And that's editorial and opinion. So they might even have a Facebook group there. So Southern Living and Dusty Old Thing are real estate magazines. All of this that's talking about real estate here is telling me that we're going to be able to go to real estate and old house style groups and be able to get in front of our audience. Budweiser, yeah, it seems pretty straightforward there. For America, so they're patriotic. Duck Dynasty. You can grab more of these and put them into your document. I'm just looking through it real quick here. Some more. Okay, and Paul Ryan is another conservative there, so that makes sense. And Planet Fitness. So that would definitely tell me that they are more outdoors-esque and veteran-esque even, if they're going to Planet Fitness. They're working out regularly, I should say. And here, this is sorted by likelihood or affinity. So we can see in this listing, instead of just the most popular categories, we actually get to see where we would be able to go on Facebook to find these individuals. Yes, we're going to find a lot more individuals as well, but we're definitely going to be able to find our individuals. So you can look through these here, and sometimes they'll have groups right here that you'll be able to jump right into their group and get in front of them. And for the love of old houses, just grab a couple of these and see if there's groups for them. Here's these guys have Heavy D's got a group. This looks very much like your demographic here. So Diesel Power Gear, there's 1,000 members. This is a potential group right here that's going to have your audience. You can join that one. Academy Sports, let's see what kind of groups they have. It's very much outdoors and hunting for all women. Here at Academy Sports, outdoors, we're for all women. So you could see if they'd let you in. And then for the NRA, we're going to go to their groups. And they've got 11,000 members in their group. So there you go. There's some groups right off the bat that you can join to get in front of your audience. Now, you may be getting in front of a lot more people than your audience, but that's totally fine. You definitely want to be able to at least get in front of your audience. You should be able to find them in those groups. So you can continue to do that. You can also go to unofficial groups, such as just going and searching for outdoors on Facebook or Cabela's or veterans, that sort of thing, and finding groups. Okay, so if we come down here to ideal customer research, we're going to find ourselves with the the competitive analysis document, and this persona. But Facebook Audience Insights is right here. Um, you can also go find your customers by doing looking up your competitors' customer reviews. So if you go back to the competitive analysis and Google for your competitors, you should be able to find their reviews. I'm not seeing anything there. I'm just going to say executive search, and here's a bunch of options. So you can read these reviews. There's nothing under that one, but let's go to the next one. Negative reviews are also just as good. So tired of recruiters reaching out, then no follow up. This recruitment company is no different. So this is a major pain point that you should definitely put into your emotional worksheet on how you need to deal with these individuals. You need to make sure that you are following up with them for sure. This is probably a candidate that never heard back from a recruiter on whether or not a position was found for them. So that would be a good idea to keep that on the forefront. These guys seem to be getting a lot of reviews. This is probably going to be pretty good for us. If this were your competitor, you could go through and read through these reviews and get a lot of really good information that you can add back into your emotional worksheet. The job searching process was with ease and expediency. So find long-term employment solution based on individual needs. That is a compatible goal. So they can say that's basically their goal. Anyway, go through here and glean as much information out of these reviews as possible from your competitors, from your ideal customer. That's the important part. And then add this information back into your persona identification as well as your emotional worksheet. So that's going to give you a lot of really good information to work from, is going through those customer reviews. Okay. Another thing that you can do is go to these answer websites, eHow, Yahoo, Google, and even Quora, and search for the emotions and search for your ideal customer on those websites in order to find out what kind of more information that you can add back into your emotional worksheet. Some of these websites, like Quora, are even good for you to do some marketing on, like you would do in Facebook groups. Answer the public. It's going to allow you to plug in some information here that's going to build a list of like 100 items, 100 questions that your ideal customer might be asking. So these are all questions that you can add back into your emotional worksheet, and they're even great content ideas for you to create content of why executive search career, why executive search firm, why use a firm. That's a great question. If they're asking that, you could answer that in your marketing, how it works, and that sort of thing. There's not a lot of information on executive search, but I'm sure if you did something like recruiting, you would get a lot more information. So just you can put in topics here and search for them and get a lot of really good information to add back into your emotional worksheet. Just Googling for case studies. So if you did executive search case studies or industrial construction case studies, whatever your target audience was that you defined in your emotional worksheet, you could put that before case studies and before study or survey. So you could say industrial estimator study, industrial estimator poll, or even an industrial estimator pain, and put all that information back into your emotional worksheet. So this is all really good options for you to be building up that worksheet.